Hi guys! Welcome! It's Amara here
And it's Jessica
from Sci for Us. Welcome to our STEM sessions, where we bring science to you at home.
We make science available and accessible for everyone. Our lessons are always so fun because every week we provide the children with new, exciting experiments for them to do at home. This way, they're able to learn and even open up their minds to the new ideas that they're being taught and introduced to.
What do we always start off with?
60-second experiment! This week, our 60-second experiment is Mentos and Coke. We're going to put a Mentos or more in here and let's see what happens. Everything has to be done really quickly so that you don't miss the reaction. So take out 2 or 3 and have them ready with you. Okay, don't stop. Keep pouring and let's see what happens. So the reason why it exploded like that is because in Coke there's so much carbon dioxide in there. That's what makes it so gassy. So when we add something like Mentos inside of this Coke, if you actually look in on a Mentos or at a Mentos closely, you can see there's actually loads of bumps on there. So when you put that into the Coke, the carbon dioxide is collecting on in those little bumps in the Mentos, and it will just continue to rise and rise and rise, and that's why there was such an eruption, and it will stop rising when the carbon dioxide is all gone and there's no more in there.
Okay, so this week our topic is states of matter.
Yeah.
So all our experiments are going to be about the different states of matter. So the states of matter that we have are
Solids,
liquids and gases. So in this experiment we saw that we had some solids, so the Mentos, we had liquid, which was the Coke, and we saw gas coming out, which was the carbon dioxide. So we had the 3 different states. We know that we find certain objects that can exist in 3 different states, and the one that comes to mind is water. So we know that water can be a liquid. As a liquid we call it water. Water vapor is a gas, and then ice is
solids.
So this week all our experiments will just be exploring the different properties of the different states. Experiment number 1. So the first sets of experiments, we're just going to be really seeing what solid, liquids and gases are. So for this experiment you're just going to need a helper or a carer to help you do this experiment. So first of all you just need labels that say solid, liquid and gas, and then what you need to do is get your carer to find random different objects that are around your house, and then we want you to sort them out into the different groups. But to make it fun and to make it a bit more exciting, you can race against each other. So myself and Jess, we're going to race against each other, so we're not going to see the objects. We're going to go out the room, ask our sister to come and put the different objects on the table, and then one by one we're going to race each other to sort it out into the different groups. The winner was... Some of them were clear
it's
to
obvious.
put in.
Yeah.
We differed on this one. So it comes out as a gas.
Yeah.
But within it is liquid. So I guess we were both right.
Yeah.
And the other one we had was with gel.
Okay.
So gel actually behaves like both a solid and a liquid. So it's considered more of a solid.
Yeah.
But it has liquid properties,
Exactly.
and that's because it can run.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold its shape
No.
as well as this.
Yeah.
So if you put this into a different object, it would then take the form of that object, and that's what really defines a liquid. But because it's also hard and it sets,
so it comes like a solid.
so it becomes like a solid with the particles being close together. So we differed on this one. So it would kind of be in the middle. Also with slime, you find the same, that it has solid and liquid properties. So it can be hard, like a solid, but it can also take shape within a different object. So that's what makes it a liquid. And you can also pour it into a different container. So again, with slime and the gel, it's in the middle because it has properties of both. And this was the same with our putty, but the putty is a lot harder. So you have to really stretch it. It doesn't pour. So this would actually be a solid. Yeah. Okay, so this is still part of the same experiment or same task. And this is just showing us how we can draw out the different particles
in solid, liquid and a gas.
And how we represent it. So for this experiment, you just need glue. It could be PVA or it could be Pritt stick. And then if you have any, just some Pom Poms or anything that is circular that you can stick down. If not, you can just draw the circles.
Yeah, you could just...
And then you just need pens. So either way, if you're going to stick down the Pom Poms or if you're going to draw them, you just need pens. So one of us will just draw it, and the other one will stick the Pom Poms. And so you may also want to use a ruler to do the first step. So what we want you to draw is even sized boxes. We want 3 different boxes, and one box is going to be for the solid, one for the liquid and one for the gas. But don't colour in your boxes. So I'm going to do a box that's 8 centimetres by 8 centimetres, but you can have the boxes any size. So that we don't get confused, under your first box write solid, under the second box write liquid, and under the third box write gas. So it should look like this, or like Jess's one. It's got nice big boxes. So in a solid, the particles are really packed
together,
closely together. So this is why they're able to keep their shape and they're really strong. And that's because the particles are so close together.
Pressed up.
Pressed, yeah. So you can't pour a solid.
No.
You don't really pour solids. And a lot of the time with a solid, in order to get the particles to separate, you normally have to apply like heat or pressure, a lot of force at high temperatures. So in the first box, we want you to, if you're drawing it, we want you to draw loads of circles, but we want you to put them close together. And with your pom-poms, just put the circles close so they're literally touching. There shouldn't be any space, there shouldn't be any. So that's just solid, you can really see that the particles are close together. So in a liquid, the particles are not as close together, so they're able to move and they're able to flow and slide past each other, and it takes the shape of the container that's in. So if we were to pour this into another container, let's say it was bigger or had a larger bottom, you would see that the liquid would take up that space. So in your second boxes, if you do the particles, it still has quite a few particles, but they're not as close together. Okay, so the third is gas. So gases are really spread out, so far apart. That's why when you spray something,
it doesn't reach you too.
Literally, it could just spread out. It doesn't. Gases don't like to be contained. They don't like to stay in one place. They like to spread out, they like to go. That is why when you do spray an air freshener, it could go to your whole all the areas in your room because it diffuses, it spreads out. So with your gas particles within the same space, you'd have fewer because they want to be really far apart. So in your last box, if you just do Only a few, but really far apart. Experiment number 2. For this next experiment, you need
3 beakers.
3 beakers, one with ice, one with
normal water,
and the other with adult supervision. You need hot water from the kettle. And then you just need thermometers, if you have any. This experiment shows liquid in its 3 states. So when you have it from the kettle, you'll see that steam will be coming from your beaker or your cup. Then we can see water as a liquid, and then we can see water as a solid. But we just want to see the different temperatures that we can find water at. And we know that from going from a solid to a liquid, this process is called melting. And to go from a liquid to a gas, this process is called boiling. When we go straight from a solid to a gas without going through the liquid phase, we call it sublimation. And those are the different processes to go from the different states. So first thing, I'm gonna measure the temperature of the solid. Now it's at 0.
I will do it of the warm water. So it was previously at 25, 26, and now we're gonna put it in the hot water and let's see.
Wow, yours just shoots up. So this one is literally where we found it, around 25 room temperature. Able to freeze, it has to be below 0. It has to be at the freezing point. And then water as a liquid has to be room temperature. And then water as a gas, normally to be able to get those steams, you have to look at water boils and turns into gas at around 100 degrees. And we want to see at which temperature we can now change this solid into a liquid. So we're going to try and melt the solid. Okay, so let's see if we can melt our ice. So we can see for ice to melt, it's nearly gone away. You can see that it went from 0. When we added hot water to melt our ice, it's now at 15. Experiment number 3. So we're going to make our own lip balms. So for this experiment, you need empty containers, but you can use anything that's a small container. You can even use this as a container to be able to keep it in. As you also need, we just have our measuring spoons. We have some scent, so we're going to make ours orange flavoured. Then coconut oil and beeswax. And the first step is it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So depending on how many containers you have, depends on how much you want to make. We only have 2 containers, so we're going to do 4 teaspoons of each. And then you put that into the container. Okay?
And then you just mix them.
And you can see right now that these are solid. So once you have done that, with the adult supervision, you need to heat this. So we're going to use our microwave to heat this. And this is because we want the 2 to go from a solid to a liquid. And for this, we need high temperatures because the temperatures allow the bonds to break. So because the bonds have broken, the particles are able to move more freely, and that's when we will get a liquid. So now we have it in liquid form.
Yay.
So what we're going to do is just add our scent, if you have any scent. You can also add, if you have like old lipsticks, you can put it in there and melt it, and then that gives you the colour. Or old coloured lip. So you pour it into your containers, and then leave it to set. So at the moment, they are liquid, but we can see already they're starting to set.
It's a very quick process.
Yeah, we've shown you how you can go from a solid to a liquid, and that was by melting. And then this process of calling. So we're going to go from a liquid to a solid, and that is calling. So the bonds are able to cool, and then they're going to become more packed together to form a solid. So just put that to the side, and then we will show you how ours look, but we can already see them starting to set. It has set and gone back to a solid. Experiment number 4. So this experiment is all about, we're going to be decorating biscuits, but we're going to be looking at 2 different types of reactions.
Okay. So we're going to be looking at reversible and irreversible reactions.
The first part of the experiment, you'll need chocolate. It doesn't matter if it's milk, white, dark chocolate, which is going to be. And you'll need hot water, so adult supervision, and a bowl and a pot, whatever you can use to melt the chocolate. Because we're doing it here in front of you, we've got a bowl, a saucer and a bowl, and we're going to put the chocolate in the top of the bowl and the hot water in the saucer, and we know that heat rises, so the steam, so water as a gas, is going to help break the bonds in the chocolate, and that is our first bit of the experiment. So let's do exactly that. So we'll pour some hot water into our bowl. Then we don't want the steam to, because what did we say about a gas? The fact that it wants to escape everywhere, but we want the heat to be concentrated in one place. So we quickly put the bowl on top, and then we hope that it's hot enough for our chocolate to melt. So our chocolate is going from a solid, hopefully, to a liquid. So now our chocolate is liquid. What you need to do now, if you have biscuits or digestive biscuits, you can now decorate your biscuits. Pour, so you need some plates and some, we just use plain digestives because there's nothing on them. And then because we've changed the state,
it's running.
It's running. So that's how we can really tell it's now a liquid, because could we do that with, Jess, can you do that with?
Can I do it with this? Absolutely not.
You can't pour it, move it?
No, or just boom.
And similar to our lip balms is that with chocolate, once we've heated it, so we cause the bonds to break and it's turned into a liquid. However, when it cools, it sets again. So we can get the chocolate to turn back into its solid form or shape. So we say that this is an example of a reversible reaction. So reversible means that it can go back to its original state. Other ones you can think of are ice lollies. So your ice lolly can melt, but if you freeze it again, it'll go back. So you can go back and forth. So you can draw arrows that go from the solid to the liquid and the liquid to the solid. And we know it's just varying the temperatures, and it will change back into the different states. So now we have yummy biscuits. Yay. Okay, so we'll put that aside as much as they look so tempting. And move on to the second part. You only need warm water, so it's fine if the temperature has cooled down. That's fine. So for this second part, still need the digestive biscuits, but we want you to have some icing sugar and some food colouring. If you don't have the food colouring, it doesn't matter, but we're going to add food colouring too. Okay, so with icing sugar, it's all about consistency, and you want it to create a solution that you can pour, but you don't want it to be too runny. We're going to use warm water, and this will help us to dissolve the sugar and make our solution. Now you can see the food colouring started as a powder, so a solid, and then we've added water, dissolved it, broken bonds, so now we have liquid. So you can see we have done the second part. The thing with this reaction is that it's irreversible. So we cannot get back our sugar powder, our red food colouring, and the water. We cannot get back the original ingredients that we put in the same form. And other reactions that are irreversible are like baking a cake. Once you put it into the oven,
that's it.
It's reached those high temperatures. You can't get back your egg. You can't get back your flour.
Sugar.
Okay, so we hope you've enjoyed all our experiments about the different states of matter. We're now going to make
ice cream
to cipher us baking. We think that baking is also a science, as we get to mix, make and break bonds. We get to do and explore different flavour combinations. We get to dissolve, so we're looking at solvents and solutes. So we love baking here. So we're going to also incorporate some math. So with the ingredients, we will let you work out what measurements you need. So we'll put it on the screen, some fractions for you guys to work out. So come and bake with us. We will love you to join in.
So, we're making ice cream, homemade ice cream, and the most important ingredient that you need for this is ice. Ice, double cream, whole milk, sugar, some salt, like mixing bowls, and Ziploc bags, and just a towel if you have like just a used one. So, the first step is to pour the double cream and the whole milk into your mixing bowl. Pour it in there. Okay, and then we're going to need to pour some sugar. Okay. Cool. Then we keep mixing, and then what I'm gonna do is I will start pouring the ice in the Ziploc bag. And zip it up, and then what we're gonna do is in another bag we're gonna pour some of this inside there. So you're gonna have to use some help to do this. Perfect, and then you can zip that up. Then what we'll do is we'll put this inside of the ice bag. Like this. Perfect. Then to speed up the process, what you can do is you can pour some salt in the bag, and that will help to solidify it quicker. Then make sure everything is zipped up. And now you can wrap this in your towel or your t-shirt or whatever you had. And make sure you've got strength in your arms, because for the next 5-10 minutes, you're just going to be shaking.
Oh, wow.
Shake, 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 shake.
Hey, suggest you finish shaking the ice cream.
Shake away.
And then, so you then remove it from your bag. And now, ooh. So it's gone from, what was it before? The liquid. Wow!
Oh my gosh,
solid.
It's actually a solid.
Ice cream. We hope you enjoyed
the session,
our experiments, and remember to send us in
pictures
of any experiments that you do. We love to see it. And we will see you next week.
Stay safe.
Take care. Bye.